Golden words of the Buddha's teaching. Let go of greed, anger, and delusion. Return to happiness. Live in peace. The suffering of humankind often stems from greed, anger, and delusion. Therefore, to live happily, we should learn to let go of some of our desires and accept imperfection as an inevitable part of being human. Life itself has no inherent suffering, but once we start calculating our gains and losses, greed arises. Suffering inevitably follows, clinging to us until our last breath. The one who can save us from suffering is no one else but ourselves. Life has so many burdens, but we can completely choose which to carry and which to put down. There are times when, faced with the ravages of impermanence, people feel as if they are about to collapse. However, if we truly absorb the philosophy of dependent origination, we realize that we have long been enjoying an abundance of this universe's gifts. When it's time for the universe to reclaim a little to share with others, it's only natural, nothing bitter about it. On the other hand, there are those who ignore others' suffering for their own benefit or pleasure. Thus, in one person's gain or joy, there is often another's loss or sadness. But let us not dwell too much on the negatives of society. This world's nature is like that. If we know how to let go and can truly let go, only then can our hearts be at peace. All suffering or happiness comes from the mind, and also disappears from the mind. Hence, whatever state our mind is in will mirror our experience of life. A human life arrives naked and departs naked. Each day we only eat 3 meals, each night we need just 1 room to sleep. So why cling to oversized desires when they only leave us perpetually dissatisfied? Excessive cravings are the root cause of all suffering in this world. If you want fewer afflictions, you must first learn how to let go. But understand clearly that to let go means letting go of selfish wanting, not letting go of your duties and responsibilities. Sometimes think of death and the fragility of life as if you just survived a life and death crisis. Those thoughts give you the strength to break away from futile pursuits. If you only had 1 day left to live, would you still scramble and compete fiercely with others? Would you still be lazy, inattentive to your own well-being? Would you still remain indifferent or calculating toward those around you? Would you continue indulging in trivial pleasures? Would you still hold on to hatred or do evil deeds? Would you still speak hurtful words or commit harmful acts toward others? Or would you only wish for a peaceful morning, sitting under your porch roof, to share a simple meal with your family, to look deeply into your children's eyes, to truly see the patient, loving care in your parents' faces, and to say something that makes your loved ones happy? When confronted with death, even the coldest blood and the iciest hearts will warm again. When confronted with death, gains and losses, wins and failures, material ambitions, and deep resentments no longer matter and naturally fade away. With no time to choose more, a person will instinctively pick what is most precious, choose to think lovingly and kindly, choose to live sincerely and kindly with others. Choose meaningful work to do. Choose words that soothe and uplift. Choose gentle eyes to see the world. Choose warm hands to hold others. Choose light steps so as not to hurt the path beneath. And choose a calm, mindful breath to hear more of life's quiet truths. We know all this, yet we remain unable to master ourselves, continually drawn into unwholesome pursuits, worldly honors, and trivial gains. At such moments, remember, the way to love everything in this harsh world is to remember that eventually everything passes away. Indeed, everything will disappear. Who are we in this dusty realm that we keep on clinging, competing, calculating, struggling, and sinking into the cycle of suffering? Rowing up the mountain to lie on a rocky ledge, listening to the forest birds recall past lives, the murmuring sound of streams in the summer breeze. Who am I, lost in this earthly realm? Have you ever tried once to sit still and observe the world? You may realize that life never stops changing, like waves that incessantly crash onto the shore. Often the waves of anxiety are more frequent than the waves of peace and joy. But there is something very strange. Even when the sea is calm, many do not regard it as happiness. They cannot just sit idle. They insist on stirring up some storm to feel they exist, to be seen and recognized. Is the human heart truly so impoverished? Will we live our whole lives as untamed weeds, ever chasing happiness and suffering, only to become victims of our own ego? One secret to living in peace and happiness is knowing how to simplify complicated issues, how to calmly welcome all things, and to fully enjoy each moment of serenity and joy in life. There is a story that once upon a time, there was a perfect circle that took pride in its flawlessly round shape, measured to the millimeter. One morning, it woke up startled to find a large triangular piece missing. Overcome with sadness, the circle packed its belongings and set off to find its lost fragment. Because it was no longer perfect, it rolled along very slowly on its journey. Initially upset about not being complete, it gradually became more relaxed, enjoying the warm sunshine, listening to the birds singing in the trees. It admired the blooming flowers along the roadside, chatted with the bugs. It saw many wonderful things, found many fragments, yet none perfectly fit its shape, so it continued its quest. After many days and months, one day the circle finally found a fragment that fit perfectly. It was overjoyed now it was complete again. It attached the fragment to become a perfect circle and rolled away. But oh, how fast it rolled now, so fast that the flowers blurred in its eyes and the bugs' voices became faint in the wind. The circle noticed how different the world had become when it rolled so quickly. So it stopped, left the fragment by the roadside, and continued rolling slowly away, once again incomplete. The lesson that this circle gives us is, we don't need to be perfect to feel happy. If all you chase is money, all you'll end up with is money, nothing more. Happiness is a completely subjective feeling, reflected in your satisfaction with life, your way of perceiving the world around you, and the peace within your own heart. It doesn't necessarily correlate with material wealth, love, money, fame, profit, like ants crawling around the rim of a cup for 1,000 years. A silk thread tries to bind the moon's reflection, yet who has truly seen through it all? The sky is empty, keep spelling out your dreams. When the waves beat you ragged, suddenly you awaken on the shore of suffering and joy. Whether happiness flows smoothly or you face painful deadlocks depends on the attitude of your mind in confronting life's storms. Those who see life as a battlefield will always find conflict. Those who see life as a journey will always see beautiful scenery. Those who see life as passing clouds of ever-changing shapes will stay calm amidst transformation. Life is just that there's no absolute right or wrong, only acceptance. Often, it's only after repeated failure that we truly appreciate the value of humility and patience. Often, it's only after multiple successes that we appreciate the value of courage and faith. Often, after meeting countless people, we appreciate the value of genuine friendship. Sometimes, through many collisions, we learn to value understanding and magnanimity. The more we chase fame and fortune, the more we realize the value of detachment and renunciation. The more conflict we experience, the more we see the value of reconciliation and forgiveness. The more dissonance and contradiction we hear, the more we recognize the worth of cultivating our hearts. The more social mingling we do, the more we appreciate pure, dignified solitude. Experiencing much deception, we see the preciousness of honesty and simplicity. Knowing how to forget unpleasant experiences, how to leave behind places or people who diminish us, that's someone who truly knows how to live. As long as there is a tomorrow, today remains the perfect starting point to aim for truth, goodness, and beauty. One of the great sorrows in life is demanding absolute perfection from others. If we can accept the relativity of others' actions, happiness will be within our reach, right here, right now. If we accept the imperfections of life, our hearts become more generous, regaining faith in humankind and in the world, reducing discontent and disappointment. In truth, the foundation of existence is the mutual dependency between one person and another, between one thing and another, between one world and another, between this life and the next. No one lives without dying, and nothing dies without remanifesting in one form or another. Because life is about mutuality, it is also about relativity. No one can live in absolute independence, and no one is absolutely perfect. To live absolutely would imply never dying or never being reborn, and never committing a single mistake. Perhaps only a saint can achieve that. If you set aside your prejudice and look deeply at someone you currently detest, you might notice unexpectedly endearing traits in them. Thus, the repugnant aspects of someone you dislike may only be relatively repugnant. And if you look objectively at the people you love and respect, You will find they also have shortcomings and flaws. They're not perfect. So their adorable traits are also only relatively adorable. Recognizing that nothing in life is entirely absolute, you will not hate so harshly and mercilessly those you find disagreeable. Acknowledging that nothing in life is utterly perfect, you will stop clinging and avoid the blind infatuation of, when you're in love, even a blemish looks like a beauty mark. In short, once you acquire a more objective view of reality, you'll feel more at ease when dealing with viewpoints or people, whether they are pleasing or not. People often trap themselves in the prison of likes and dislikes, in illusions of absolutes they themselves invented. We are not absolute, yet we want everything around us to be absolute. That's why we suffer. Once you've realized this, let me ask, who can help you live more happily, think more positively, and act more objectively? Only one person: yourself. If you often remind yourself, life is never wholly absolute, you will find it easier and more pleasant in all your interactions. Happiness only begins to bloom when we shift our perspective from within. Happiness comes only when our hearts truly open. Good morning, smile serenely. All sorrows vanish with the passing night. Greet the dawn with a clear mind and bright spirit, for morning once again brings gifts to bestow. Welcome the butterflies dancing to birdsong and the fresh buds on blooming roses. Amid the breeze, the chime from a distant temple spreads warmth throughout the world, a gentle chanting. Greet this new day, vowing to make it feel new. A joyful heart sees a bright and beautiful world. When wisdom and love become our daily purpose, happiness pours sweetly into every moment. In life, no path is always smooth. There are bound to be twists and turns. You must traverse them and move forward. Those bends are not defeats, but opportunities to build resilience. No matter how many silent tears were shed last night, once the sun rises, the city buzzes with life again. Believe that every difficulty will pass, and there's always a tomorrow. There is no obstacle in life that we absolutely cannot overcome. Each person has their joys and sorrows to transform, their own happiness and pain to face. Birth has already happened. To live, we must choose how. Understanding this, you will find your own way to adapt. Our greatest loneliness in life is having no spiritual anchor, no direction in which the heart can turn. Whether we realize or admit it or not, if in our heart there is only goodness, no trouble can truly upset us. A truly kind heart never harbors resentment. If your way of living is truly simple, no amount of worldly chaos can affect you. Doing good keeps the body healthy, mind calm, and sleep restful. Doing virtuous deeds is recognized by heaven and earth, admired by spirits and deities. If you do not doubt, the world is never cold. If you do not discriminate, the world is never distant. If you do not harbor resentment, the sky is always warm. If you do not cause conflict, the seas will remain peaceful. True tranquility is not sitting motionless for hours, but maintaining calm observation of all things, hearing even the subtle sounds of blooming flowers. Enduring serenity can only arise from within. You will never find it by seeking outwardly. We strive our entire lives, working ourselves to the bone, yet in the end, we cannot take even a blade of grass with us. We cling, gather, and hoard all our lives, but in the end, we cannot carry even the slightest vanity or praise beyond our last day. Once we are born, whether we are wealthy or poor, when we reach life's end, we must say farewell. Therefore, while there is still time, live wholeheartedly, cherish those who genuinely matter to you, and do not chase the world's fickle standards. What we cannot forget, don't force ourselves to. Once forgotten, let it stay forgotten. Don't torment yourself. Often, losing something after you had it is more painful than never having it at all. Don't rely too much on anyone. Reliance gives birth to expectation. Expectation brings disappointment. In this world, there are not so many if-only moments. You write your own life story. There's no need to make the script overly tragic. Don't stand in a corner worrying. Step confidently forward, and you will surely find your way. Not everything in life goes as planned. Don't push yourself too hard. If you've done your best, accept whatever outcome. We busy ourselves our entire lives, worn out with endless tasks. No matter how you struggle, there will always be more work to do. For life after life, we scrimp and save, yet we never feel we have enough. Our entire lives we endure, compromise, and worry, yet no matter how careful we are, we make mistakes. In such a vast world, we are so small, many things should not be taken too seriously. Our present life, both right and wrong, turns into valuable experience. Good or bad turns into our life's scenery. With a peaceful mind, happiness is always within reach. After all, life just goes on. Instead of fearing or lamenting eternal matters, keep your inner self at peace. Many things in this world are such that you can encounter them once but never again. Sometimes they appear only once in a lifetime, and if you miss them, you won't find them again. Treasure the people who remain and let go of those who wish to leave. Don't lose sight of the great future ahead over a single individual. When upset, don't explode or expect sympathy. People can be indifferent. Being weak only encourages others to look down on you. Even if the whole world sees you as nothing, you must keep your self-respect. Don't get stuck brooding over one problem or give all your love to just one person. You still have family, friends, and many other responsibilities. Remember, life always presents us with new opportunities, called tomorrow. The road we travel on has joys, successes, and happiness, but also pain, suffering, and failures. Where you stumble is where you start anew. Yesterday's failure forms the stepping stone for tomorrow's success. We cannot cease learning, nor should we reject improvement. The future is always filled with promise and allure. Ideally, sow seeds now so they may blossom into reality later. If you work diligently now, you will have fruit to harvest. Having done your best in the past and present, the future will indeed be bright, no need to worry. This is a natural law, like day and night being inseparable. Every day of life is worth treasuring. Don't regret past hesitations and then passively wait for tomorrow. Live fully in each present moment, and you won't waste your life. In dealing with others, if you are too clever, those around you may be wary. Too perfectionistic, you may create hostility. Too arrogant, you'll be shunned. In this life, when there's profit, don't grab it all for yourself. Wealth you try to seize for a lifetime is still inexhaustible. Know when enough is enough. Even if you argue with someone using all the logic in the world, you can argue for thousands of years and still not finish. Winning an argument while losing your kindness leaves you empty-handed. No matter how talented you are, never mock others. Comparing people to people brings harm, and comparing things to things may force you to abandon one of them. Overthinking leads to worry. Being too meticulous leads to self-torment. Seeking too much causes fatigue. Only when your mind is content will your days be peaceful, your heart and soul at ease, and you'll see that life is worth living. Whenever you feel pain or suffering, the first thing to break is your attachment. The key question, can you let it go? When one door closes, another inevitably opens. The real question, can you see it? Human life is often spent accumulating wealth so we can own a grand house. Yet in reality, a simple hut with a stone bench can already bring the joy of a clear mind. A life, in the end, is like a journey by bus to our own graves. No one can accompany us the whole way, not even friends or loved ones. If we're lucky, some will ride along for part of the journey. When they must get off, however reluctant we feel, we should be grateful and wave goodbye, because at the next stop, there may be someone else who boards with you. Coffee is bitter or sweet depending on whether we add sugar or salt. Sorrow doesn't lie in how to forget, but in whether you have the courage to move forward towards something new. Life is like a cup of tea, initially bitter, but that's not all there is. Once you pass the bitterness, you taste a subtle sweetness. We grow tired because we hesitate between persevering and letting go. Sometimes we already understand, but we refuse to accept. Whoever enters your life does so through karmic ties. Whether they stay or leave depends on you. Not explaining can feel lighter, not clinging can open the way, and not striving for perfection is the true nature of life. We can't spend our whole lives claiming to love only one person, yet there may indeed be one person who makes us smile most brightly, cry most heartbreakingly, and remember most persistently. Once you've bought something, there's no point comparing prices afterward. It's done. After you eat, regretting it is useless. If you truly love, do not doubt. When it's time to leave, don't cast blame. Choosing a person is like choosing a pair of shoes. If they don't fit, they hurt your feet. Throwing them away feels wasteful. But clinging to something ill-fitting just leads to pain on every step of your journey. A person who can't manage their own emotions can't keep hold of anything. Even if they were given the whole world, it would eventually slip away. The saddest thing is when closeness turns into distance. Taking things too seriously leads to suffering. Trusting too much leads to exploitation. Someone who was once near and caring becomes cold. Love is like sand in your hand. The tighter you squeeze, the faster it slips away. Sometimes people reminisce about the past, not because it was so wonderful, but because it can never come back. And even if it could, would anything really be different? Thus, life requires us to keep looking ahead. If you cannot find a reason to persevere, recall the motivation that made you begin in the first place. Life will then become simpler. No one is truly irreplaceable. No wound is truly unhealable. It only depends on whether we are willing or not. Your companions in life are not obliged to appear whenever you need them. Those who care about you do so not because they have no obligations of their own. No matter how strong the bond, it cannot endure neglect. No matter how warm the heart, it cannot tolerate coldness forever. Don't wait until someone turns away to realize you need them. Don't wait until someone is hurt to hastily make amends. The world is vast, and any encounter is not guaranteed. The human heart is small, but if it accommodates you at all, that is a miracle. Therefore, appreciate it. Affection does not form in an instant, nor can it vanish in a single moment. Hearts grow distant over time. Affection fades little by little. If you are no longer in someone's eyes, why force it? If you no longer hold a place in their heart, why dwell on it? A person with self-respect will not allow themselves to be trampled upon. Pay attention to your feelings. Love cannot be maintained by one side alone. Without a companion, it becomes an unsustainable burden. If you cherish someone, it is because at some point they moved you. If you decide to part ways, it's because there was some disappointment. We cannot judge a person by appearance alone. Over time, their true nature will be revealed. We cannot judge a relationship by superficialities. Only when hardships arise do we see true loyalty. In life, only when we fall to the bottom do we know who throws stones in and who reaches out to lift us up. True friends are those who stay with us from the darkness of night until the sun rises, who willingly hold an umbrella for us in storms, who remain until the last moment after everyone else has left. Such friendship is rare and precious, and only genuine people can hope to find it. A real friend may criticize us, but when difficulties appear, they are right there, sharing the hardships. People who flatter you profusely may not necessarily be sincere. Only those who remain when needed are truly reliable. A good relationship is not defined by how often you see each other, but by whether you can truly rely on one another when needed. Deep commitment means, if you need something and I have it, then it's also yours. Great affection means, not about grand promises, but stepping in to help at the critical moment. True closeness may look casual daily, but at the moment of need, it remains unwavering. A good connection is not determined by time. A great friendship, once it arrives, will never leave. If destined, no invitation is needed. If not, no amount of force will make it so. If you do not cherish it, even grand vows will fade away. Those who truly care for you might not say much, but they will remain by your side. Let nature take its course, living wholeheartedly. That's best. Ease and adversity are both part of this world. Don't let your heart be locked in impermanence. Sit in stillness, let a smile stretch into infinity. No matter the regrets or fatigue, whether blessed or unfortunate, all that has passed is now the past. If it's gone, let it go. Only then can your heart be free. No matter how brilliant or remarkable your successes, or how many hardships and failures you've endured, if you gave your best, there's no room for regret. Each of us has much to do on our own, with personal experiences only we can feel. An empty heart allows broad paths. A narrow mind can close all doors. As people, we should act with compassion and kindness, not forgetting humanity even when we're right. There are 4 seasons in a year: spring, summer, fall. Winter each follows in turn, but human life does not circle back. We only pass once, able to harvest only once. So why not strive for the best harvest? Life essentially fits into 3 days: yesterday, today, and tomorrow. Yesterday flows away like water in clouds, never to return. Today, though real, recedes step by step into the past. Tomorrow will come, but will soon be gone. In a blink, a year passes. In a turn, a life ends. Only by letting go of yesterday and cherishing today will you face tomorrow without regrets. If you live solely by feeling, you may meet tragedy. Yet being overly rational can turn you absurd. Without ups and downs, how can we call it an adventure? Without suffering, how can we call it life? You don't need to be wealthy to live. Being healthy and peaceful is enough. You don't need flowery words. Sincerity and honesty suffice. You don't need fiery passion. Gentleness and tolerance will do. Choosing the right career ensures success. Having the right friends yields wisdom. Choosing an environment of truth, goodness, beauty brings happiness. And choosing an optimistic way of life grants serenity. Life is like a cup of tea, initially bitter, but that's not all there is. Once you move past the bitterness, you taste a gentle sweetness. Our fatigue often comes from wavering between persisting and letting go. Sometimes we fully understand, yet refuse to accept reality. Not explaining can be more freeing. Not clinging can open up new paths. In an imperfect life, this is the essence of living. Coffee is bitter or sweet based on whether you add sugar or salt. Sorrow is not about forgetting, but about whether you have the courage to move on to the new. Live joyfully, for life is impermanent and short. Manage your mood well, and you'll live serenely and peacefully. No matter how much heartbreak you've suffered, it will fade into oblivion. Nothing lasts forever. Half of life is memories, the other half must carry on. Leave unhappy things behind in yesterday, gift today with trust and hope, and offer tomorrow your greatest efforts. Everything in life has its own answer. Having tried your best, there's no need to worry. Let life flow with its natural rhythm. Let go of your attachments, look upon people with tolerance, add a touch of enthusiasm, calmness, and warmth, and you'll always walk in the sunshine. You'll emerge victorious in life. Living in this world means constantly self-reflecting. Don't expect everyone to understand you or everything to go your way. Life has no fixed mold, only a sincere heart and passion. When you face troubles, find the little joys and never let go of happiness. No matter how busy, remember to keep a bit of youthful spirit. Don't lose your health. When tired, take a rest. Don't lose the joy in living. In life, it's not that we persevere because we have hope, but that hope emerges because we persevere. Nor is it that we seize opportunities because they already exist, but that opportunities arise because we refuse to let go. Knowledge isn't gained first so we can act. Rather, action itself fosters knowledge. We don't wait to be mature before bearing responsibility. By taking responsibility, we learn maturity. We don't need wealth before sharing. Instead, by sharing, we grow richer. We don't face challenges because we're ready, but by confronting challenges, we break through our limits. We don't become leaders and then learn sacrifice. It's sacrifice that makes leaders. We don't wait for benefits before showing gratitude. By being grateful, we earn blessings. We don't wait until we have money to learn. By studying, we find ways to earn a living. No one's life is entirely perfect, and no work is flawlessly complete. Encountering petty people, don't bother quarreling, as it only brings more irritation. Facing complex situations, don't overthink them, for that only exhausts you further. In this vast world, people's hearts are complicated. How could we not meet narrow-minded people? In a deep and dusty world, how could we avoid all annoyances? Think moderately. See things more broadly. If you feel wronged, quietly let it dissolve and then smile. If there is no sunlight, listen to the wind, watch the rain. If there are no flowers, breathe the sense of nature. If there is no applause, savor the tranquility of solitude. Time rotates, seasons change. Don't complain or lament. Don't be sad or scheme. Keep a serene heart and walk lightly on this beautiful path. Value sincerity, keep a positive mindset. When facing hardship, calmly rethink and change your perspective. If you fail, work harder to rebuild your confidence. Learn to face yourself, to be open to life, to forgive mistakes, so each day ends in peace. If you feel weary, try shifting your viewpoint. If pressured, change your environment. If in doubt, stand elsewhere to assess. If hesitant, alter your direction. If downhearted, change your surroundings to find joy. If troubled, shift your thinking to dissolve negativity. If angry, try a different approach to resolve it. If you're insecure, alter how you perceive yourself. Adjusting your perspective a little can yield enormous new insights. If you keep a mindset of going with the flow, you'll enjoy an open life. If you carry a heart of peace, you will live freely. If your heart contains compassion, you will do many good deeds. If you nurture a sense of gratitude, you will feel happy. If you understand the law of cause and effect, you will make wise decisions. If you know when to concede, life will be filled with more joy. If you maintain a simple mind, whatever comes is straightforward. If you develop the habit of daily self-reflection, you will become more awakened. Life is composed of many small pieces. Marriage is half about building, half about acceptance. Family is half about giving, half about receiving. Relationships are half about exchange, half about preserving. Marriage is half tolerance, half caring. Children are half natural gifts, half upbringing. Parents are half about filial respect, half about closeness. Work is half luck, half effort. Money is half joy, half worry. Life is half memories, half continuing on. Happiness is half feeling, half knowing what's enough. Happiness does not depend on how large or small your house is, but on how hearty the laughter is inside. It's not about how many sweet compliments you hear, but who is there to comfort you when you're in pain and weak. What matters most is not the material possessions you have, but the companions by your side. If you see the good in everyone and find meaning in every situation, you'll find that life is enjoyable and the world is wonderful. If you face life with a mind mired in troubles, everything becomes a hindrance and the world seems wretched. So many of us hope for a better society. In fact, the best way to be beautiful is to keep your inner self calm and your spirit happy. This kind of beauty makes others around you feel at ease, without any aversion. Everything we receive in life is the result of what we have done before, and what we do now will result in our future. Life continues in this way. If we understand this, we avoid many negative thoughts, refraining from blaming the heavens or people when faced with adversity. Blessings come from diligence and selflessness. Let compassion guide you to help the needy. Gratitude remind you to repay deep kindness, and respectfulness shape your interactions with all people and things. Believing in cause and effect, you won't do what you'll later regret. Cheerfully persevere in kindness, and you'll greet a warm, radiant tomorrow. We come into this world with two main tasks, to be born and to die. One is already done, only one remains, so there's no need to rush. Whatever is due to arrive will arrive. Once it's done, it will fade. Waiting or craving changes nothing. A wise person won't live by others' opinions, nor fear worldly judgments. It's enough to know your own mind, observe your good and bad qualities, and gradually refine them. That is a form of spiritual cultivation. Our greatest loneliness in life is having no spiritual anchor, not knowing where to turn our hearts. Whether we are aware or not, whether we admit it or not, if our hearts contain only goodness, nothing can truly trouble us. If you are truly kind at heart, you will not resent anyone. If you live simply, you remain unaffected by chaos. Being a good person fosters health, peace of mind, and sound sleep. Doing good deeds is recognized by heaven and earth, praised by the spirits. Without doubt, the world is not cold. Without discrimination, the world is not distant. Without resentment, the sky remains warm. Without causing trouble, the seas stay calm. True stillness is not merely sitting motionless for hours, it's the ability to watch everything calmly, hearing even the flowers grow. Enduring tranquility arises from the heart, and you cannot find it by seeking outwardly. We toil a lifetime, endure a lifetime, and in the end cannot take even a blade of grass with us. We cling, gather, and store for a lifetime, yet cannot carry away even a bit of hollow vanity. We are born into the world no matter rich or poor, and after traveling its roads, we all must say goodbye. Hence, while still breathing, live wholeheartedly. Cherish whomever you want, don't chase shallow worldly standards. A lifetime is actually very short. Many promise to live 100 years, yet in a moment they become memories. Some just part with a dear friend, only to wake up the next day separated forever by life and death. So while we can, do not create regrets, do not overthink, do not overcomplicate, do not desire too much. Each person has only one life, however short or long it may be. Day after day passes, whether sorrowful or joyful. Every stretch of our journey is either a step forward or backward. No one is perfect, no work is impeccable. Encountering petty people, don't argue. That only adds stress. Facing complicated issues, don't obsess. That only tires you more. The world is vast, people's hearts are chaotic, of course we'll meet some who are petty. This dusty life is deep and fleeting, of course we'll meet vexations. Think in moderation, see things more lightly. If you're misunderstood, silently let it go and smile to yourself. Without the sun, listen to the wind, watch the rain. Without flowers, breathe in the scent of wild grass. Without applause, relish the quietude. Time turns, seasons pass. No complaining, no lamenting, no sorrow, no scheming. Keep calm in your heart. Walk softly on the beautiful path. Treasure sincerity, maintain positive energy. When you need restraint, take a deep breath to reset. Facing difficulties, calmly reflect and shift your perspective. If you fail, gather courage and do it again to restore your confidence. Learn to face yourself, open your heart to life, and practice forgiveness so that each day can end in peace. If you feel exhausted, try viewing life differently. If under pressure, change your environment to breathe. If in doubt, move to another spot to judge. If hesitant, change your direction. If sad, find a new place to seek joy. If upset, shift your mindset. If resentful, adjust your methods to resolve it. If lacking self-esteem, alter how you see yourself. Change your viewpoint a little, and you might discover something completely new. If you adopt a go-with-the-flow attitude, you can live your life openly. If you keep a peaceful heart, you will find your path with ease. If you hold compassion within, you will accomplish many good deeds. If you cultivate gratitude, you will constantly feel blessed. If you understand cause and effect, you will make wiser decisions. If you know when to yield, life becomes more enjoyable. If you preserve simplicity of heart, matters remain simple. If you develop a habit of daily self-reflection, you'll become more awakened. Life is made of little pieces joined together. Marriage is half nurturing, half accepting. Family is half giving, half receiving. Love is half reciprocity, half safeguarding. Spouses are half about tolerance, half about caring. Children are half a natural endowment, half upbringing. Parents are half about filial respect, half about closeness. Work is half luck, half diligence. Money is half joy, half anxiety. Life is half memories, half forward progress. Happiness is half feeling, half contentment. Happiness does not depend on whether your house is huge or small, but on how hearty your laughter is inside. Nor does it depend on how many sweet words of praise you hear, but on who is there to share and console you when you are heartbroken. The most precious thing is not material wealth, but those who accompany you. If you see everyone's strengths and find significance in everything, life becomes delightful and the world is kind. If you face life with a troubled mind, everything becomes burdensome and the world becomes ugly. Many people wish society were more beautiful. In fact, the best way to achieve this is to keep our mind calm and spirit joyful, radiating a kind of beauty that others find comforting. Truly, all we receive in this life results from our own past actions. What we do now will shape future outcomes. Life goes on unceasingly. If you understand this, you can curb negative thinking, no longer blaming fate or others when adversity arises. Blessings come from diligence and a sacrificial spirit. Have compassion to help the needy, gratitude to repay deep kindness, and show respectful courtesy to all things. If you believe in cause and effect, you will not do deeds that lead to regret. Persist cheerfully in goodness, and you will see a radiant tomorrow. We come to this world for essentially two major events, birth and death. One is already behind us, one still to come. No need to rush. Whatever is meant to arrive will do so, and once it's gone, it's done. Waiting or demanding doesn't help. The wise do not live by the words of the world, nor fear the eyes of others. As long as you understand your own heart, observe your strengths and weaknesses, and continually refine yourself, that is spiritual cultivation. Our greatest sense of alienation in life is having no spiritual anchor, with no direction for our heart. Whether or not you realize or admit it, if your heart harbors only good, no problem can truly disturb you. If you are genuinely kind, you do not resent anyone. If your lifestyle is truly simple, even chaos cannot affect you. Being a good person keeps your body healthy and your mind at peace, helping you sleep well. Doing good deeds will be understood by heaven and earth and respected by spiritual beings. Without doubt, the world is not cold. Without discrimination, the world is not distant. Without resentment, the sky is warm. Without seeking strife, the seas remain calm. True stillness is not about sitting unmoving for hours, but about calmly observing the flow of life, hearing even the growth of flowers. A steady serenity grows from within. It can never be found by searching without. We work our whole lives, endure hardships all our lives, but when the end comes, we cannot take even a blade of grass with us. After all the clinging and hoarding, we cannot keep even the most trivial praise. Once we are born, whether wealthy or not, once the road ends, we bid farewell. Thus, while the opportunity is still here, live wholeheartedly, love whom you need to love, and do not chase superficial norms of the world. A lifetime is, in truth, quite short. Many vow to live 100 years, yet they vanish before we know it. Some part from their best friend only to find the next morning that they are forever separated by life and death. So while we still have a chance, let's avoid regrets, not overthink, not overcare, not be too greedy. Each of us only lives once, be it short or long. Day by day passes, sorrowful or joyful. Journey by journey, step forward or back. No one is perfect. No task is complete in every way. When you meet someone small-minded, don't bother arguing, as it only burdens yourself. When life gets complicated, don't overthink or you'll deplete your energy. The world is large. The human heart is mixed, of course. There are narrow-minded individuals. Time is fleeting. Worldly matters are complex, of course. We'll meet unpleasant situations. Manage your thoughts in moderation. See things lightly. If misunderstood, quietly dispel it and smile. If the sun is hidden, listen to the wind and watch the rain. No fresh flowers? Enjoy the fragrance of the meadows. No applause? Savor solitude. Time rotates, seasons shift. No complaining, no lamenting, no sorrow, no scheming. Keep your mind at peace. Walk gently along this beautiful road. Appreciate genuine affection. Keep a positive spirit. When you must restrain yourself, take a deep breath to change the air around you. Facing difficulties, stay calm, rethink, and shift your perspective. After failure, try again to regain confidence. Face yourself, stay open to life, practice forgiveness so every day ends peacefully. If you feel fatigued, try seeing life from another angle. Feeling stressed? Change your environment for fresh air. Unsure? Shift your stance and evaluate anew. Hesitating? Try another direction. Depressed? Change your setting to find joy. Trouble? Change your mindset to resolve it. Anger? Change your approach to handle it. Lacking self-confidence? Change how you regard yourself. A small shift in viewpoint can yield an entirely new understanding. If you keep a go-with-the-flow mindset, you can live your entire life more openly. If you keep a peaceful heart, you will find serenity in your lifestyle. If there is compassion in your heart, you will accomplish countless good deeds. If you hold a heart of gratitude, you will feel ever more blessed. If you are aware of karma's law, your decisions will be wise. If you know when to step back, your life will be merrier. If you guard a simple heart, then events will be simple. If you develop the habit of daily introspection, you will awaken more deeply. Life is like a jigsaw puzzle. Marriage is half building, half accepting. Family is half giving, half receiving. Feelings are half interaction, half preservation. Spouses are half tolerance, half caring. Children are half natural endowment, half upbringing. Parents are half filial piety, half closeness. Work is half opportunity, half effort. Money is half joy, half worry. Life is half memories, half moving on. Happiness is half perception, half contentment. Happiness is not about the width of your house, but the echo of laughter within. It's not about receiving countless sweet praises, but about having someone show up to comfort you when you're hurt and vulnerable. The most precious thing is not material wealth, but the companions on your journey. If in everyone you see only their merits, and in everything a meaning, life is joyous, and the world is good. If you face life with a troubled mind, all becomes obstacles, and the world turns ugly. Many hope to make society better. In reality, the best way to be beautiful is to keep a tranquil mind and a cheerful spirit. Such beauty makes those around you feel at ease, never bored or annoyed. Ultimately, everything you receive in this life is a result of your prior actions. What you do now will produce the fruits of your future. Life flows on continuously. Understanding this helps us refrain from negativity and avoid blaming others when things go wrong. Blessings arise from diligence and self-sacrifice. Show compassion to those in need, gratitude toward kindness, and respect toward everyone and everything. If you believe in karma, you won't do things that lead to regret. Persist joyfully in good deeds, and you'll greet a bright future with a light heart. We come into this world with essentially two tasks, to be born and to die. One has already happened. One remains. No need to hurry. What is due to arrive will come. Once finished, it fades. Waiting or wishing doesn't change anything. A wise person does not live by the world's judgment or fear others' glances. It is enough to know yourself, see your strengths and weaknesses, gradually refining them. That is spiritual practice. Our greatest emptiness in life is having no spiritual refuge, not knowing where to direct the heart. Whether we realize it or not, whether we admit it or not, if there is only goodness in our hearts, nothing can truly trouble us. A truly compassionate heart never resents. If our living is truly simple, the world's chaos cannot affect us. Doing good keeps the body healthy, the mind calm, and sleep restful. Doing good is recognized by heaven and earth and admired by the spirits. Without doubt, the world is never cold. Without discrimination, never distant. Without resentment, the sky stays warm. Without strife, the seas remain calm. True stillness is not about sitting hours without moving, but about calmly observing all, hearing even the flowers grow. Enduring tranquility must come from within, not from external seeking. We strive a lifetime, endure a lifetime, yet in the end cannot bring even a tiny leaf along with us. We cling for a lifetime, gather for a lifetime, yet cannot hold on to even a bit of empty vanity. Born into this world, no matter wealth or poverty, when the road ends, all must say farewell. So while we still have a chance, live fully, cherish those you want, and don't chase fleeting world standards. Life truly is short. Many vow to live a century, but then vanish overnight. Some say goodbye to a confidant friend, only to awaken separated by the gulf of life and death. Therefore, while there is still time, do not create regrets. Do not overthink. Do not overworry. Do not be too greedy. Each person has one life, long or short. Each new day arrives, sorrowful or joyful, each step forward or back. No one is perfect, no work flawless. With petty individuals, don't argue. Arguing only adds vexation. With complex issues, don't overthink. Overthinking brings exhaustion. The world is large, people's hearts complicated. Of course, you'll encounter small-mindedness. The universe is deep, worldly affairs ephemeral. Of course, you'll find annoyance. Think within measure, see with openness. If you're wronged, quietly dissolve it and smile calmly. If there's no sunshine, listen to the wind, watch the rain. If there are no fresh flowers, breathe the fragrance of the wild fields. If there's no applause, enjoy the calm of solitude. Seasons turn and days pass, no complaints, no laments, no sadness, no schemes. Keep a tranquil heart, walk lightly down the beautiful path. Honor genuine affection, keep a positive frame of mind. When necessary, take a deep breath to quell the storm inside. Facing hardship, pause, think calmly, and change your outlook. After failure, strive again, recover your confidence. Learn to confront yourself, open to the world, forgive mistakes so each day can end in peace. When feeling weary, try looking at life from another angle. Under pressure, change your environment for fresh air. In doubt, relocate your standpoint. If uncertain, alter your direction. When sad, seek new surroundings for joy. In trouble, shift your thoughts to dissolve it. If angry, change your approach. If you feel inferior, change your perspective of yourself. Adjust your viewpoint slightly, and you may discover vast differences. If your attitude is to flow with life, you will pass your days openly. If your heart is peaceful, you will find freedom. If you keep compassion in your heart, you can do many good things. If you harbor gratitude, you will feel happy. If you are aware of karmic law, you will choose wisely. If you know when to show tolerance, life will be more joyful. If you maintain simplicity, everything remains simple. If you develop the habit of reflecting daily, you become more enlightened. Life comprises little fragments pieced together. Marriage is partly cultivated, partly accepted. Family is partly giving, partly receiving. Emotions are partly mutual exchange, partly protecting them. Spouses are partly tolerance, partly caring. Children are partly nature, partly nurture. Parents are partly filial reverence, partly closeness. Work is partly luck, partly effort. Money is partly joy, partly worry. Life is partly remembrance, partly moving on. Happiness is partly a feeling, partly knowing you have enough. Happiness is not about whether your home is big or small, but about how hearty the laughter sounds within. It's also not about how many words of praise you hear, but about who's there to comfort you when you feel hurt. The most valuable thing is not how much material wealth you possess, but having those who walk alongside you. If you look at everyone and see only their good qualities, if you find value in every matter, you will sense the beauty of life and the goodness of the world. If you face the world with a troubled mind, everything will become a hindrance and the world seems distorted and ugly. Many wish society would become more beautiful. In truth, the best way to cultivate beauty is to keep a peaceful mind and an uplifting spirit. This aura makes others feel at ease, never weary of you. In reality, all that you gain in this life results from what you've sown, and what you do now will shape the future. Life persists in this cycle. Aware of this, we cut off many negative thoughts, and we don't blame fate or others when we encounter trouble. Blessings stem from diligence and a willingness to sacrifice. Show compassion for those in need, gratitude to repay kindness, and respect for all. If we believe in cause and effect, we won't do regretful deeds. Cheerfully persisting in good, we'll greet a new day bright and lighthearted. We arrive in this world with essentially two tasks, birth and death. One is done, only one remains, so there's no need to hurry. Whatever is meant to come will come, and once over it's finished. Waiting or clinging is pointless. The wise don't rely on others' words or fear their gaze. They just need to understand their own hearts, observe what's right and wrong within, and gradually refine themselves. This is cultivation. May there be a day when the mind is tranquil, returning to the body, inhaling, exhaling, pausing to hear life, joy found in the petals opening each new day. But life without smiles is endless worries. Is happiness far beyond reach? A soul anxious through countless roads, hope lies ahead like green grass on the far hill. Peace is already there within your heart. When the mind is filled with joy, the world appears beautiful. Let us always respect others and nurture tolerance. The ocean becomes vast because it can accommodate all streams. Be grateful to your friends for their support, and be grateful to your rivals for making you stronger. There are two things in life we cannot avoid: moving forward and stopping. Are you maintaining a positive mindset? A positive attitude is your best companion for a joyful and healthy life. Whether among close ones or strangers, if we share a bond, let's give of ourselves. Strong relationships develop because you don't just burn incense in emergencies. True bonds are nurtured over time, like saving money in a bank. The more you deposit, the longer it stays, the more interest it yields. When facing matters, don't rush to conclusions, especially when angry. Learn to put yourself in another's shoes. Try to shrink big problems into small ones, small problems into nothing. The more complicated something is, the more calmly it should be approached. Never complicate a simple situation. Cultivate a mindset of knowing enough. Most human worries arise from meaningless comparisons. Surely there will be someone not doing as well as you, and someone doing better. When you lament not having nice shoes, remember someone else has no feet. If an adversary makes you angry, it shows you haven't surpassed them yet. Looking back to scold the one who cursed you is unnecessary, like being bitten by a rabid dog and deciding to bite back, pointless. So, don't dwell on malicious words from others. Don't see work as a burden. Instead of complaining, face it cheerfully. Treat your work like life or art, and you'll discover its hidden joys. Each extra day we live is a blessing, so value it. Life is only so many decades. Don't do things you'll come to regret. The sun rises in the east and sets in the west. Whether sad or happy, another day passes. Avoid trivial gossip to keep your life calm. The self is hurt by insults, but let it be, let it hurt. Don't resist or cling. When praised, your self rejoices. Realize that joy also fades away like waves rolling through the sea of consciousness. Whether we feel harmed or pleased, they come and go. Let the waves return to the ocean. Let sorrow return to the place of joy. Observe the river in stillness. Flowers and debris both drift along. There is no self in liberation. Liberation means departing the self. Looking deeply into the nature of arising and ceasing, we find eternal tranquility. Life passes quickly. Let go of fame and illusions, and you'll discover reality's essence. The world is large and complex. Solve problems gently. Set aside unnecessary burdens for peace of mind, so you can move forward. Yielding ground to others to avoid conflicts is wise. Focus on the horizon to see the rainbow after the storm. Travel light on life's long road. In truth, the loveliest scenery doesn't depend on the eyes, but arises in the heart. Deep affection doesn't require words. It's shown through actions. Whenever things don't go your way, recall water's nature: soft, humble, quietly embracing and transforming all, never needing to quarrel or argue. Misunderstood by others? Don't defend yourself over time. Truth and falsehood are self-evident. Harmed by someone's words? Don't blame them. Tolerance shows kindness, and time reveals one's true colors. Treated coldly or faced with changing hearts? Have the virtue to let time prove you. Falsely accused? Don't feel bitter. The sincerity of your character will shine. Often, who truly wins in life is not the one who sees through everything, but the one who can let things go. Whether your heart is broad is not determined by how many people you know, but how many people you can forgive. Conceding is not losing. Eventually, what's right will return to you. Life inevitably includes unpleasant events and unlikable people. If you can't let go and move on, you will remain stuck in anger and exhaustion. Different knowledge, views, and moral cultivation lead people to handle situations differently. Therefore, conflicts and clashes are common. When that happens, forgiveness demonstrates your attitude, your level of self-cultivation, and becomes an umbrella to shield you from life's storms, letting you continue onward. Sometimes forgiveness costs you a bit of loss or self-sacrifice, but it isn't weakness or fear. It merely broadens your path. Life is like the sky. It won't always be clear and bright for your enjoyment. At times, gray clouds will obscure it, causing you distress. It also will not give you perpetual luck and happiness. Sometimes it demands you taste all flavors of bitterness and sweetness. So open your heart, practice forgiving, step past the people and things that trouble you. The world usually doesn't care how much injustice or pain you've endured. It only cares about your final results. When storms come, just remind yourself that after thunder and rain, the sun will appear. Don't waste time complaining. No one will pay much attention anyway. Some things, once you let them go, you'll feel lighter. Some people, merely recalling them, makes you happy. Some sorrows, when you understand them, make you stronger. Overthinking one problem can trap you in endless loops. Even a simple matter becomes complicated if you obsess too much. Maintain a calm approach and a broad heart, and things will pass smoothly, leaving your life peaceful again. 4 words to help us live more lightly and peacefully. Listen. When you truly listen to someone suffering, you become a healer to their mind. You may not be a psychologist, but sincere attention and a proper attitude definitely help. Moreover, each of us needs to discern right from wrong, yet if you don't listen, it's hard to assess correctly. Listening clarifies others' hearts and your own intentions, helping you improve your relationships, address weaknesses, and foster strengths benefiting both parties. Endure, nothing can mean patience or forbearance. In relationships, it is tolerance. In your personal goals, it is perseverance. Practicing patience is cultivating both moral behavior and personal virtue. Patience is not allowing oneself to be trampled. It's a reminder not to let anger drive you to wrongdoing. Anger is harmful to both health and spirit, and it undermines your true worth. Meditate. Meditation is a way to bring your mind to serenity and stillness, closely linked to tranquility. You don't necessarily need to sit cross-legged to meditate. It means quieting thoughts. When life feels stuck, words and complaints do not solve it. Often remaining silent, speaking less, listening more lets you adjust your mindset. Sometimes, talking too much dissolves the beauty of silence. Lighten. The lighter you hold on to things, the more peaceful your heart, and the fuller your happiness. Fame, profit, material goods are fleeting illusions you cannot take with you when you depart this world. Anger, resentment, sorrow, sooner or later, they all pass, leaving only you with yourself. Why not lighten them now? Learn to let go so troubles can be blown away. Sometimes happiness keeps our souls gentle, and patience brings peace to our lives. Adversity can help us become resilient and determined, while misfortune and suffering awaken deeper compassion.